Obama,
relationship is interesting.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, Obama's presidency delivered Trump, and then Biden's presidency delivered Trump stronger than ever. So that Obama-Biden political era, I mean, the net result of it is that Donald Trump is now one of the strongest presidents in the modern American political era.
CrossroadsIRL.com.
Barack Obama currently is the leader of the Democrat Party. No matter who's president, he's the leader of the Democrat Party. He's the crowned eternal leader of the Democrat Party. And I don't think that he is the best thing for the Democrat Party at this time. In fact, going forward, he should simply just be silent and just go away. That's my opinion, but most people might think not. So let's listen to what he has to say. Obama rebukes Trump, okay? This is after Obama refused to directly congratulate Donald Trump on signing the Middle East peace deal. Directly refused to mention his name, even went as far as retweeting the tweet by the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, dedicating the award to her people and to Donald Trump. He retweets it, but does not directly congratulate President Trump. So it feels like he's bitter. Let's watch this, then I'll just continue my commentary on this whole thing.
When you have military that can direct force against their own people, that is inherently corrupting. When you have...
All right, so he's speaking about President Trump, and he says when you have someone who can direct force against his people, that is corrupting the people. And here he's referring to now there's a range of things he might be referring to. Let me know what you think he's talking about. I think he's talking about the ICE raids. ICE going into communities and arresting criminal illegal immigrants, and then happening upon undocumented immigrants, who've been here for a long time, and a lot of people don't like that. I don't like that. However, there's a reason for that. Maybe we can talk about it before this segment is over. He's also talking about the riots in Portland. We have riots in Portland. We're going to cover it. People obstructing federal agents from doing their jobs. And the federal agents have to defend themselves and have to push past them to do their jobs. They are not the target of the ICE agents. And now President Trump has to send in the National Guard to protect federal property and federal agents. So it's one of these three things. And President Barack Obama, I don't like calling people former president like they did for President Trump. Okay, I think they invented that. Okay, so those of you who have been conscious of the way it's done in America, you've lived in America, is that the way it's done? When someone leaves office, do you suddenly start calling them former president, or do you still call them president? I think they still call them president. That's what I've always understood. It is a lifetime honor to have been president, and you keep that title, even though you're not a sitting president. But I think the mainstream media, in order to embarrass Trump and in order to belittle him, they invented that phrase, former president. So let me know in the chat if that was something that was made up by the mainstream media or if it has always been that way. I just want to know. Please educate me. So President Barack Obama might have been referring to one of these things. Okay, I want to just break it down and talk about this because there is something we need to do, and that is just to be very conscious of when some of these seeds are being put out there. What are the key issues? Let's talk about the key issues. Let's not attack personalities, but talk about policy. And if the policy is actually wrong, then we talk about it, right?
When you have military that can direct force against their own people, that is inherently corrupting. When you have what looks like a deliberate end run around not just a concept, but a law that's been around for a long time, posse comitatus, that says, you don't use our military on domestic soil unless there is an extraordinary emergency of some sort.
Federal agents were being attacked in California. That's the first time he used it. Second time he used it, law enforcement in Washington, D.C. inadequate. Citizens were being attacked. Citizens were being killed, mugged. Washington, D.C. wasn't safe. He enacted it. Third, he's trying to do it in Portland because you have Antifa attacking ICE facilities after a week or so after an ICE facility in Texas was fired upon by someone from a rooftop, killing, I think, 1 or 2 immigrants. And then now he's trying to get them into Chicago to handle the crime situation. But at the same time, we're seeing unrest around the ICE facility. Can you see a pattern here? Can you see a pattern here? There's a clear pattern that ICE is being deployed. Sorry, the National Guard is being deployed to support ICE and to protect federal agents and federal installations. He's not turning the military against his own citizens, and that's just the language that Barack Obama is using right now.
That when you see an administration suggest that ordinary street crime is an insurrection.
Ordinary street crime. How many people died the other weekend? How many people died? Like, you have kids playing on the front porch, according to a report. I don't want to do what mainstream media does, where they just fling these things around, but I heard a report and I saw it on X where there was a child playing on her front porch and there was a shooting in the street and the child got killed. This is happening in Chicago, and President Barack Obama, who is originally from Chicago, is calling it ordinary street crime. So basically, a child getting killed on their own front porch is a regular Tuesday. Okay, I know how it feels to feel your kids are unsafe when they play in front of your house. Back in Nigeria, we had crazy people who would speed down the street. We lived in a gated community, but they would speed down the street irrespective of whether kids were playing or not. So I would always feel apprehensive if my kids were out there playing. Now, that is kids getting run over by vehicles. How about kids getting gunned down when gangs are shooting at each other? It's on a whole different level. So I can't even imagine how parents in Chicago feel about the crime situation. And President Barack Obama is calling it ordinary street crime.
Or
a terrorist act.
Or a terrorist act. Yeah, that is a genuine effort to weaken how we have understood democracy.
All right. So that is President Obama's opinion. What do you think of what he just said? Now, looking at the comments section, Canary King, please leave your thoughts in the chat, please. Okay, don't let Canary King win the award for the top commentator today. So Canary King said, of course, the prosecutions against Trump were a witch hunt to stop him from running. Yes, it was. With moral issues, it is not my place to judge, referring to President Trump. Judge not lest ye be judged, but weaponizing the Justice Department is a blow to democracy. How come we don't have President Barack Obama complaining about what the Democrats did? Sorry, I need to reset my AirPod. I was hearing a clicking sound while I was listening to the footage, so I hope this fixes it. As long as the justice system is weaponized against a Republican, it's fine. It's not an attack on democracy. But once it flips and someone from the Democrat Party is being investigated, then America's democracy is about to be destroyed. So that's wrong. So should the justice system be weaponized against your political enemies? No. This happens in Nigeria regularly. I don't want to see it happening in the United States. Do you? All right. So I think we should try to not be partisan. It's hard not to be, but let's try not to be partisan and just call out the truth. For me, I try very hard to be non-partisan. And being non-partisan means if someone on either side does something good, let's give it a thumbs up and say this was good. If someone does something bad, let's call it out. All right, that's what we should be doing. Next comment on the Obama situation. I don't fault Obama. The adventures overseas don't excite me. Let's go back to America first. I agree with America first. I'm even tempted to say, let it be America only. All right. Now, some of you might be surprised that I'm saying that, but a strong America is good for the world. And if for a season, maybe 10 years, America just takes care of America, it will be good for the world, because a strong America is a deterrent to crazies out there who want to ruin the world. So if for 10 years America just takes care of America, I'm all for it. All right. However, people in the Trump administration, or people who understand what Trump is doing better than I do, say that Donald Trump is America first, not America only. He's America first, not America only. Sorry, my wife is texting me. She's asking if I'm live streaming, so let me give her a yes. All right, so America first, not America only. So do you support this position, okay, of America only? Let me know in the chat. Like Canary King is saying, he doesn't agree the intervention in other people's business. I agree with it somewhat, but I know that in many ways it could be a problem for people out there who need America to step in to solve certain problems. All right. So that's my position. Okay. Let me know your thoughts. Don't be shy. You guys are just, we have a lot of lurkers, people who just sit and watch and they don't want to say anything. Look, we're not going to be offended. No one is going to chew your head off. Okay. If you say something that isn't supportive of our point of view, we're going to examine it and we're going to talk about it. So we're not in a cult here. We just want to get down to the bottom of things. All right. Here is something to consider. This is a democracy, not a third world dictatorship. Be careful unleashing the military in our country. Agreed. So let me ask a question, and we'll ask the question and I'll play the next clip. When you have blue states and blue cities refusing to cooperate with federal law enforcement, stirring up their citizens to the point where they start attacking federal agents while they carry out their federal duties, throwing Molotov cocktails into federal buildings, throwing stones at federal vehicles, and the local police refuses to protect federal officers while they do their jobs. What are the options for the federal government? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to wait for you to let me know what you would do if you were President Trump and you had federal law enforcement out there doing their job. Local PD has been ordered by the governor not to assist the federal agents while they do their job. And assistance means provide security and cover for them while they do their jobs. So they are essentially going out there without protection. Then the same governors and mayors hit media and say, these guys are fascists, these guys are goons of the tyrant Donald Trump. Okay, these guys are dangerous. They use all these words to trigger an emotion that sends these people out there to start attacking these federal agents. What would you do if you were in President Trump's shoes? Let me know in the chat. Now let's play the next footage. This is Scott Jennings, and we're going to listen to this, and then I hope you can give me an answer, because it's really easy to say, well, let's not unleash federal troops on American soil. I have that same sentiment. I don't like troops on American soil. I see what troops roaming around the streets of Nigeria does. It's not nice. Okay, it's not nice. When you normalize that kind of thing, it doesn't end well. So I share the same sentiments, but what would you do if you were in President Trump's shoes to solve this problem? Okay, if you want me to give you some options, I could give you some options and then you can pick. All right, I don't want to break the stream by going in and trying to do a poll, okay? But a poll would be nice to say, look, A, do this, B, do that, and C, do that. And let's see how many people make a decision that actually works, because when you make a decision, there are consequences to decisions. When you make a decision, there are second order effects. That means this decision is taken, other things will happen as a result of this decision. So I hope you can give me your thoughts in the chat while I play this.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the most hyper-political and hyper-partisan post-president we've ever had. He's still acting that way. They're not over the fact that Donald Trump won the national popular vote last year. And they keep warning about the same things that they were warning and fussing about during the campaign to which the American people then responded to. I think Donald Trump is executing every part of his agenda in almost exactly the way that he promised he was going to, up to and including enforcing laws in the United States that have been on the books for a very, very long time that his predecessor chose simply not to execute. You throw that on top of the fact that he's having this extraordinary success on the world stage, and I just think Democrats from Obama on down are having a heck of a time understanding where they went wrong and how Donald Trump has captivated a nation and now the entire world. Obama...
The relationship is interesting.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, Obama's presidency delivered Trump, and then Biden's presidency delivered Trump stronger than ever. So that Obama-Biden political era, I mean, the net result of it is that Donald Trump is now one of the strongest presidents in the modern American political era.
All right, so let me tell you a story, okay? I think I've mentioned this before, and I'll just say it again. My dad, back in 2016, while the presidential debates were going on between President Trump, Ben Carson, and so on, were having their debates, my dad asked me a question: who do you think would win? I said, I'm not very sure, but I think Donald Trump is good for America. And he asked me why. I said, Donald Trump is a businessman and he will make good business decisions for the country. That was what I told him. And when President Trump won, I was glad that he won. But why would I be glad that President Trump would win over someone who Barack Obama had endorsed? Because Barack Obama is black, his father is from Africa. I should have solidarity with Barack Obama. Why would I say I essentially do not have any solidarity with Barack Obama? Barack Obama spent his time not enriching Africa. He spent his time not trying to get Africa, because, hey, you're African, okay, so share with us some wisdom on how we can get out of poverty. Share with us some wisdom how we can move our countries from being third world countries to first world countries. Do you know what Barack Obama spent most of his time trying to sell us in Africa? Gay marriage. That was what he spent his 8 years trying to sell us in Africa. Gay marriage. We didn't open one space center. We didn't open anything that would move the needle economically. He wanted to sell us gay marriage. And once I saw that for 8 years, I said to myself, anyone he's endorsing, I am not interested in seeing running the United States of America. Plus, Hillary Clinton had historically been a horrible person. We saw what she did with Libya, and we were like, okay, no, we don't think we want more of that. So that's my train of thought. All right. So no one yet giving me any opinion on what you would do if you were in President Trump's shoes. All right. So option number one, if you had a blue city and state resisting federal officers from doing their job and actively stirring up your population to attack federal workers, what would I do? I have three options. Let me start with three options. One, I would leave the state be, allow the state to keep their illegal immigrants and their crime and let them do whatever they like. That's option number one. What are the consequences of option number one? Those states eventually sign up all of the illegal immigrants on their voter roll. They hold a census, essentially gerrymander their districts, turn them blue, turn the entire state blue, as if Chicago, California, and which other state was it? Well, Chicago and California and Portland aren't already blue. They're blue as blue can be. Okay, so now they want to get more congressional seats because now there's a boom in their population because they've taken in a massive number of illegal immigrants, and now they are actually going to become a swing state. I think that's how that works. Let me know in the chat. They become a swing state. So President Trump does nothing. It creates a problem further down the line for Republican candidates who want to run for president, because these states now have more congressional seats. They have more electoral votes, and it becomes a problem to win a vote down the line. So President Trump, I think, shouldn't do that, my opinion. Option number two, President Trump, let's see. He attempts to sue the state. He sues the state. So he has to first of all sue at the state level, I think. I don't know how this works. Let me know. Sues at the state level, doesn't win, goes up to the Supreme Court level. Maybe he wins. But there's also the question of does the Supreme Court have the right to order a state governor to tell the law enforcement to protect federal employees. That becomes a constitutional crisis, okay? And then the Democrats will have that talking point of, well, this is a constitutional crisis. The Supreme Court is trying to tell us what to do and how to run our states. Now we need to pack the courts. And then third option, send in the National Guard. Democrats have done it before. JFK sent in the National Guard when California, the governor of California, refused to enact integration in public schools. So he had to send in the National Guard to force the kids, to escort the black kids into the schools that were being desegregated. So saying that it hasn't been done before, it was done before, and it was done by a Democrat president. Okay, so Bert Penny, thank you so much for your chat. While it isn't ideal to have your military deployed in your country, it is the president's duty to protect federal assets, human and capital, using military assets, period. Bert, are you chatting from the United States? Are you American, or are you chatting from elsewhere? Let me know in the chat, because I am not American, but I know this. I agree with you. Bert. So you know, sometimes these arguments don't make sense. It's like, why are we having this argument? Federal law enforcement, Canada. Okay, we're both in Canada, Bert. Well done. Thank you so much for the comment. And please keep them coming. Why would you let federal assets get destroyed, put them at risk? And you know what? There's always a domino effect. If the federal government doesn't protect federal agents, people wouldn't want to work for the federal government because they don't protect their own.
Subscribe.
Thanks for watching, liking, and sharing this video. Please subscribe, leave a super thank, and join my membership to keep me doing this. A huge thank you to my supporters listed on the screen. Thank you for your donations and membership.
Thanks for watching.